What is going on, Roland Empire? Here, guys, to give you a video we have had now with Warner Brothers and HBO Max, Mortal Kombat. You guys know what this Mortal Kombat is? Incredible video game pop culture phenomena. Has had three official and movie theater films, including this one, with the first one being praised as like the best video game movie in realistically terms. Is that saying something? But it's still saying enough. So, in a certain way, even though the video game standard movies are not as par as other things can. It's not saying like, video game movies are bad. They're decent enough. There's some good ones. But Miss Mortal Kombat, especially being with the whole how famous it is, has some things to live up to. And, I've seen the trailers have sold me on certain things. I've seen shots that I've found very nostalgic, very familiar. Other things that could probably be tweaked within lines. But still, as an overall movie, Candace worked. And yes, I am a fan, but I like it as much as games. I know people appreciate it and get into the lores, have seen fan films, have seen short films, have seen sort of like TV version films and all that. I just know so much more. I just know familiar of the video game and the main three films, even though those I've seen probably a long time. I got to be reminded on. So with this one, though, I'm still anticipating, I'm still excited for this. Does it live up? How well does this live up with casual and lore fan audiences? First of all, I just want to say I had a great time with this movie. It was so much fun, and there are so many things that are not the best. You might say, like, within story wise, could be better. It isn't the greatest, but I still like the movie. I like the movie. Call it, unpredictable or predictable. I had a great time. It's gonna be that thing like Godzilla, where that one had so much fun, but because I like the characters, I like what I'm getting myself into. Mortal Kombat is like that. It's just it varies from fans. We have fans that probably like that so much. We have fans that like this better because of what they understand. Maybe fans that like both. I'm in the sense again, like I'm saying, I enjoy these characters how they were. The main character, Cold Young, is being chosen, is set on the quest, realizing that there might be more going on with lineage and realizing what we're understanding with this Mortal Kombat lore. Realizing it's more of an introduction. It definitely is more of an introduction rather than the main course. Oh, what this franchise is. That could be a negative or a positive. I enjoyed it as much. But going back with like Cole, he's the main protagonist. Isn't as charismatic as he can, but what he's trying to do of the script, I felt there was something there. I've seen more people that were one dimensional, two dimensional of kind of characters that were worse. He's two dimensional, almost three dimensional, but he's better at least. I found him at least interesting because of what his history is and all that. His family could have been well better written and all that of dialogue and stuff. I cared enough because they gave me the 101 to care, even though it's not saying it's a lot, but it's just enough with this. The whole understanding of this character of this whole universe, I like the presentation. I like what was kind of like it was grounded, but I liked still the fantasy aspects of it. I still really enjoyed it. I dug it, and then I would have to give compliments to the composing, the sound editing. I liked it. The sound mixing or however it was, especially on certain characters, how it was heard, the presentations of the voices, I thought were really good. This feels like should be something really to be heard in the movie theater. And the spectacle of what, how are the action scenes, they're they aren't the best as in like, the choreographs. We've seen stuff that like it's more, how do you say, it's more elegance and all that, but it's still enough. It's not as shaky as I thought shaky would be, but the editing could be better. But I still like that what I'm here for, I get from Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat action scenes definitely delivered. You can imagine also this with the crowd. You're like, oh man, ooh dang, that was very intense. That kind of stuff. I like that it delivered on that purpose. There is Scorpion Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. What a way to use this character. I like the way when, he was going to have a presence. The presence of that really worked. It was very atmospheric. I like how atmospheric that was and how it capitalized that. So that is really a super, super duper, if you could, plus one of what this movie had. Scorpion's background story, really good. Understanding the rivalry that could go on. I wanted to see more of that. But still, when that kind of goes with it, when you see it arrive, when it builds, you're like, yeah, that's definitely a yeah moment. So I like the whole that kind of background. So even though I thought eventually it led you to one thing, but then eventually the movie was this. At least it brought us back to what it was. Other movies have done this kind of way and all that, but in this one, even though that doesn't make it like, oh, because of that, this is the best movie. No, I like that. That's what I got, at least because of how movies have done in the past and haven't paid off. This at least brought it back and have paid off in a certain way. But I understand that these characters are not the best. Like I said, well written. They're some of the dialogue can be cringy, but I expected from what I wanted. I got of this kind of film, so I really just I enjoyed it because of the spectacle again of how these shots are. Just realizing how modern, how adapt this franchise got into this film. Into this film. So I really enjoyed just from a technological way of the mixing, and I just enjoyed the visuals of how the action was done. Again, like I said, like the actors, I'm on the side that yes, they're not the greatest, but they're not as bad. I don't think the characters are as bad. Kano is probably the best. Kano is definitely like the best. But Cole Young, realizing what kind of character he is and all that, definitely could have been better. I agree. Like I defend, I understand and all that. I'm on the side that he could be better, but also have a defense. I'm like, at least he showed some liveliness. Sure, you could add more, but he showed some liveliness, and it's enough that I'm realizing what this film is. I had a great time. I enjoyed this movie just for like how it was. Characters were fun. Characters were good. But like I always say, guys, these are my thoughts and opinions. Let me know if this movie didn't live up to your expectations. Let me know if it did live up to your expectations. And it's the best of the franchise and all. It was an entertaining movie. I had a great time with these characters. Definitely could be better. They definitely could have been better fleshed out. But I still had an overall just a fun time, just enjoying this film, and I liked it as the fan that I could have been for all this, just for how it was. So all this in the comments below, and as always, Fallen Empire, laugh, smile, repeat.